everybody, Cathryn Hartt here of Heart and Soul Studio, the unacting coach. Alright, did you ever hear that old cliche phrase, good acting isn't acting, it's just reacting? Yeah. Alright, well there's a reason that we have cliches, and the reason is because they're so darn true. So one of the things I'm working with my webinar people this particular month, and with my on-camera people that are in person with me, is just reminding them how much your acting is about your reacting. And I don't mean necessarily fake reactions, but that's better than no reactions at all. I sort of say that there are three levels of acting. Stinky poo-poo, and that's when I'm doing line acting and hand acting and everything is with my words and it's all very flat and fake and my hands bob around like crazy. So those are my two pet peeves, right? In case you haven't been in one of my in-person classes, don't do those two things, because I will actually threaten to chop your hands off and sew your lips closed. But what I sort of get people to next is the next step, which is what a lot of people consider fairly decent acting, and that's where you start to use your body and your clothes more, and you understand why you're saying the lines, and they're not lines anymore, it's more of a conversation, and you have some reactions, except what happens is they get kind of set. So maybe the first time you rehearse the scene, it's all spontaneous and wonderful. And then after that, you're going like, oh, I want to do that exactly every time because that looked good. But the problem is, once you put in the fake reactions back in, they look fake because they are. What you basically have created is a plastic rendition of something that used to be magical. Because remember, the magic of any kind of acting, but especially camera acting, is spontaneity. By spontaneity, I mean something actually really happens right then. We don't fake it. Something happens. That's what we do all the technique for, to be able to understand how to push buttons and cause real reactions to happen every time you need them in exactly the same spot. But they're really never going to happen exactly the same every single time. There's always going to be a slight difference in the rhythm. The look in your eyes is different. Every single moment that you experience in life is slightly different. And, that's what life is all about. That's why it's interesting. It's fun. And the same thing with your acting. Acting should be, I personally feel, really almost like a life experience. It's something that you feel through your entire soul, and if you do, then the audience does too. So, if I have a real reaction and it's spontaneous, that's where the magic is. So, how do we do that? Well, first of all, in my classes, very simplistically, a lot of times I'll just say, hey, today I want you to do a reaction before every line. Yeah, I mean, it sounds kind of cheap. It is kind of cheap, but it works, because if you actually are forced to concentrate on the reaction, it'll take your mind off of making it all on the line, first of all. And if you react, it will actually sort of go through your body physiologically and cause you to have a more organic something happening on the inside. So my organic, real feeling on the inside can trigger me to do something. Or when I do something, it can trigger me to feel something organic on the inside. So if I just tell you to put a reaction in before every line, that helps all by itself. So let me give you an example. So if someone says to me, hey, I'm not really mad at you, but I could be mad at you, but I'm not really right now. Well, okay, yeah. But why don't you put a little reaction, just before each line, hey, I'm not really mad at you, but I could be mad at you, but I'm not. So these tiny little things, it's not like you drive a Mack truck in between every line you say. It doesn't look like you're taking a break, but there is something real that happens because, basically you want to think about acting as basic physics, cause and effect. So something has to happen to cause an effect in me. And so I have to not know what you're going to be doing, and then that will actually surprise me spontaneously and cause me to have a real reaction. So what I do a lot as an actor is I sort of set myself up to distract myself so I don't know what I practiced 50 times is coming up. Because that's the real trick to be a good actor, right? Anybody can accidentally do a scene well one time, but can you do it 50 times and make it look like it's the first time you've ever done it every time you do it? That's the trick. All right, so that's why we get all our technique, to set you up so you can be free when you get in front of that camera for something to happen. So let me suggest that you concentrate more on something that you're looking at, that or you're really listening to the person. Don't listen to yourself talk, listen to the other person talk. You're really listening to them, because when you have these reactions, you don't want them to just be arbitrary reactions, even though I just said, just do a reaction before every line. All right, don't throw that back in my face. Now let me take you to the next step. The next step, which is where you really want to be as an actor, as something spontaneous is really happening, is that you really are listening to the other person. You kind of wipe the slate clean every time. You don't know what they're going to say. You don't know what they're going to do. I mean, the actor knows. God, I blocked out the whole scene. I'm a Juilliard-trained actor. Trust me. I do a lot of technique. But when you get up to really, play in the scene, it is playing. It's almost like an improv, because you're in your character and you've mapped out exactly where the scene's going to shift and change and all that stuff. You know the buttons that are going to get pushed in your character because you've prepared yourself. Then you can just get up and play. So I really want to spend more time just paying attention to what's in front of me, because I don't want a, oh, really? Fake reaction. I want something that's real. They don't have to be big either. They can be very tiny. Oh, really? It could be something very, very small. Really? You could take a long time with the reaction. Yeah, really? Or you could do it really fast. Really? It doesn't matter. It just has to be real. Something pushes your button. It's caused by something that actually happens. If I actually see something, okay, I just really did see something. Look how subtle my reactions are. But you can see that I actually see something. Whereas if I'm faking it, oh, I'm doing these big reactions. So you don't have to make the reactions big. Just kind of play around. And if you get with one of your friends, your actor friends, go back and forth with just sort of setting yourselves up to give yourself like a basic conflict, a problem between you. And, just as yourselves, really look at each other and see if you can just play off of each other to see where the scene goes. You'd be surprised at how many interesting things happen if you don't try and force those reactions. Don't try and make the reactions happen. Something has to happen, cause and effect. Something happens that's real. The other person, the cold, my listening to something. But it has to be real. You have to actually really invest most of your attention in really seeing the person that you're reacting to. So then you'll set yourself free, and tiny little reactions actually start to happen. So go off and play, but please concentrate more on communicating with the reaction than the line. The reaction is where it all is, not the reaction is where it all is. Oh, really? Yeah. Don't just change on the line. Change with the reaction slightly before the line. Really? Oh, okay. Not, oh, really? Oh, okay. Watch again. I'm doing it slightly before the line. Oh, really? Okay. I'm slightly doing it before the line, so I'm investing more in the reaction and allowing that's my real communication, and something is really going on, and the line just falls out of my mouth because of something I'm really reacting to. Okay? Go play. I'm done. Yeah.